I used to think my discontent was a virtue. After all, it helped me experience the fortune of earning a multitude of titles in my amazing Forrest Gump life: Marine, Ironman, Coach of the Year, State Champion, Pastor, and Professor, to name a few. I achieved much in my life because I was never satisfied, always wanting more. This is a good thing, right? Well, I believed this until I watched my father, who was also in the club of the discontent, wither away for 3 years before he finally passed away recently. He couldn't communicate it very well during that time, but it seemed like he always wanted to speak against the frenetic pace with which we lived, which even made us rivals from time to time. In his long period of deterioration, he appeared to have found something that was the answer to everything for which we were searching, a contentment that I never had observed in him. As I prepared to officiate his funeral, I heard him loud and clear in my soul as I examined his life. I came to grips with my own mortality, and I decided to do a deep dive into every verse and book ever written on biblical contentment. So when my time on earth expired, I could say I repented about what I think he was trying to warn me. I learned much. Mainly, I learned my discontentment was sinful. It was a portal the enemy used as a Trojan horse to usher in additional sins into my life: comparison, strife, envy, workaholism, complaining, etc. We are both commanded and commended to be content in the Bible. Why? Well, Satan cannot get a stronghold on the kind of Christians who are content. These Christians have learned to live with so little that if Satan took it all, they'd be unaffected. These Christians have learned to see their blessings from God as so bountiful that they can never be made to covet, forcing them to make sinful decisions regarding money, possessions, or sex. These Christians know they have all they need. So how do we get there? So picture God being the great blacksmith, and the hot metal with which he is shaping is his will for our lives to become more like Christ and reflect his glory. We are all familiar with images of blacksmiths hammering on metal while sparks fly, surrounded by flames. But we don't always consider the necessity of the anvil. The anvil not only provides a solid foundation for the metal to rest while being forged, but the various parts of the anvil are also the chief instruments used to bend the alloy into the desired shape. If smithing was all blows by the hammers, there would be nothing but sparks. The anvil makes the desired outcome possible. Think of contentment as being the anvil on which God's will for your life rests while the hammers hit their marks. The crucible is hot and the blows are uncomfortable, but your soul upon the anvil of contentment makes you into a weapon for the kingdom. So I invite you to embrace the anvil, let the sparks fly, be initiated.